These muffins are so yummy. You guys are going to want to try them. Hi everyone, welcome to Juliana's Kitchen. If you've never cooked with me before, you're going to discover I never do anything ordinary. And today we're making unordinary oatmeal muffins. We're going to be adding some orange zest with some cranberry and dates. And for those of the culinary brave of heart who like to try things a little bit different and more exciting, we're going to add some fresh rosemary. You don't have to, but if you like rosemary, you're going to love these muffins. So hit that like button and come along and meet me on the mixing table and I will show you how. First thing we want to do is get the dry ingredients going in a large bowl. So large bowl, we want to add 1 3/4 cups of flour and 1 cup of oats. And to that we want to add a tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. And we want to get this mixed up, well mixed. And we're also going to add a couple other dry ingredients. Remember I said we were going to add dates to this, so I've got 3/4 cup of dates that I've already chopped. I want to add those. And the dates can get kind of clumpy. So you want to stir them up in the flour and that helps to separate them. And then we have to zest an orange and I want to chop some cranberry. All right, with the cranberries or craisins, the dried cranberries, you can put them in whole, but like I said, they're nicer if you just give them a quick chop. They don't have to be super fine, but if this cuts them into like about half the size of a whole cranberry, give them a couple chops, they blend nicer in your muffins. So let's add those to the dry mixture. We'll stir them up to get them coated in the flour too so that they don't clump together in your muffins. And let's zest that orange. Okay, so we want to zest our orange on the zesty side of your grater. And if you don't have one of these graters, you can get one if you want. There's a link in my description box. I just like these graters better than those ones you have to hold by hand because I can put more oomph into my grating. For the pecan pack, you can also use walnuts, by the way, if you don't want to use pecans. Or if you have a nut allergy, you can use pumpkin seeds. But I am going to put them in a bag. You could just chop them on the cutting board, but I don't like pieces flying all over the place. So you just put them in a bag, little Ziploc baggie, and hit them up with your rolling pin. And they're good to go. So I just happen to have some fresh rosemary from my garden, so I'm going to use that. So if you're going to use fresh, you want to use 2 tablespoons chopped. And if you're going to use dry, that kind of converts to about 2 teaspoons. If you're not sure about this whole rosemary adventure I'm enticing you into, just start off with half maybe and see what you think, because rosemary is an acquired taste. Once you acquire it, you're in love. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get those dry ingredients all put together. We've got the cranberries in there. Let's add the rosemary and those nuts that we smashed up and the orange zest. And we want to just mix that all up nicely so that it's well blended. And then this helps break up all the dates and cranberries if they happen to be sticking in clumps. And then we're going to set this aside and get the wet ingredients going, mix it all together, and they're going to head to the oven. Won't be long now. For your wet ingredients in a separate bowl, you want to add 1 cup of sour cream or yogurt. Just like Greek plain yogurt is fine. I never tried flavoring. I suppose you could try a flavored yogurt. That'd be fun. Anyway, 1 cup of yogurt, half a cup of oil, and 2 eggs, a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, and 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And we're just going to mix that up, and then we will add it to the dry ingredients. So we're going to take this and add it to this. And the trick with muffins is that you don't want to over stir them because they can get really tough and chewy, and we don't want that. These are really nice, hearty, wholesome, flavorful muffins. So we just want to stir them as little as possible so that it's all coated. Oh, there you have background noise called "The oven is ready." So if you haven't yet and you're looking at my recipe, you can turn your oven on to 350 because that is what we're going to bake them at, so your oven can preheat. And let's get these in the tins. You just want to have a lightly greased muffin tin, and we're going to fill the tins each about 2/3 to 3/4 full. And then these are going to go in the oven at 350 for about 18 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Maybe set your timer for 16 minutes, and then we'll do the toothpick test, which I will show you in a minute. Okay guys, they're done. And if you could come through this computer or TV screen and smell this kitchen, you would be salivating. But I want to show you how to do the test to see if they're done. You just do the toothpick test. So when you insert a toothpick, if it comes out dry and there's no sticky wet batter on there, then you know that your muffins are done. You want to cool them for about 5-10 minutes or so, and then you should be able to, as you see, just twist them easily and they come out. They smell so good. Hey, this is a really nice way to present them too if you're looking for ways to make your life a little more fancy, you know, put some joy back into every day instead of just shoving one in your face and on the run. If you get a minute, you can present them in a nice metal bowl. And I'll have a link to some of those in my description just because it helps me keep going and bringing more recipes to you. So anyway, if you liked this recipe and you want to play some more with me, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Have a great day.